What if I told you that your arteries can start cleaning themselves? Not in 10 years, not in 5 years, but in as little as 12 months, if you simply remove the things that are damaging them and give your body what it actually needs to repair itself. Most people believe once arteries are clogged, that's it. It's permanent. It only gets worse. And eventually it leads to heart attack, stroke, or serious disease. But that belief ignores one very important fact. Your body is constantly repairing itself. Every second, every minute, every day. The real question isn't whether your arteries can heal. The real question is, are you allowing that healing to happen? Or are you unknowingly blocking it? When I first started digging into this topic, one thing became very clear. Artery damage doesn't happen overnight. It happens slowly, quietly, and mostly without symptoms. Inside your arteries, there's a delicate lining called the endothelium. Think of it like a smooth, protective surface that allows blood to flow easily. But when this lining becomes damaged, inflammation begins. And inflammation is where the real trouble starts. This inflammation makes your arteries sticky. Now, cholesterol, calcium, and other particles begin to accumulate in those damaged areas. Over time, this buildup forms plaque, and plaque makes arteries narrower and harder. This restricts blood flow. Less oxygen reaches your heart, your brain, and the rest of your body. And this is when serious problems begin. But here's the part most people never hear. Plaque buildup is not just about cholesterol. It's primarily about inflammation and damage. Cholesterol is often part of the repair process. Your body uses it like a patch. The real problem is what caused the damage in the first place. The number one cause is sugar. Excess sugar in your diet damages the artery lining directly. It creates oxidative stress. It triggers inflammation, and it accelerates plaque formation. Every time blood sugar spikes, it's like sandpaper rubbing against the inside of your arteries. Over months and years, this creates significant injury. The second major cause is insulin resistance. When insulin levels stay high for long periods, it promotes inflammation and prevents your body from healing properly. High insulin also signals your body to store fat and prevents fat burning. This contributes to more plaque formation and metabolic damage. The third cause is chronic nutrient deficiency. Your arteries require specific nutrients to stay strong and flexible. Without them, repair slows down or stops entirely. So the first step in cleaning out arteries is not adding something. It's removing what's causing the damage. When you lower sugar and refined carbohydrate intake, inflammation begins to drop. Blood sugar stabilizes. Insulin levels decrease. And suddenly, your body shifts from damage mode into repair mode. One of the most powerful ways to do this is by reducing refined carbs like sugar, white flour, bread, pasta, and processed foods. These foods spike blood sugar rapidly and repeatedly. By cutting them out, you remove the constant injury to your arteries. Now, something remarkable begins to happen. Your body starts using fat as fuel instead of sugar This reduces insulin levels dramatically. Lower insulin allows inflammation to decrease. And when inflammation decreases, healing accelerates. Another key factor is healthy fats. Many people were taught to fear fat. Many people were taught, but healthy fats actually protect arteries. They reduce inflammation and support the structural integrity of blood vessels. Foods like eggs, olive oil, fatty fish, butter, and natural animal fats provide essential building blocks for repair. 3 fatty acids, in particular, are incredibly powerful. They help reduce inflammation inside artery walls. They improve blood flow, and they help stabilize plaque, making it less dangerous. There's also another powerful mechanism called autophagy. This is your body's internal cleanup system. It literally removes damaged cells, debris, and dysfunctional components. Autophagy becomes much more active when insulin levels are low. This means your body becomes more efficient at cleaning out damaged material from your arteries. Intermittent fasting is one of the most effective ways to activate this cleanup process. When you stop eating for a period of time, insulin drops. Your body switches into repair mode. Inflammation decreases, and healing accelerates. Exercise is another powerful tool. Physical activity improves circulation. It strengthens the heart, and it stimulates the production of nitric oxide, which relaxes and opens arteries. This improves blood flow and supports healing, but exercise doesn't have to be extreme. Even regular walking can significantly improve artery health. Movement signals your body to repair and strengthen blood vessels. There's also a critical vitamin called vitamin K2. This vitamin helps direct calcium out of arteries and into bones, where it belongs. Without enough vitamin K2, calcium can accumulate in arteries and contribute to stiffness and plaque buildup. Magnesium is another essential nutrient. It helps relax blood vessels, improve circulation, and reduce inflammation. Many people are deficient in magnesium, and this deficiency contributes to artery problems. Vitamin D also plays a major role. It supports immune function and reduces inflammation. Low vitamin D levels are strongly associated with cardiovascular disease. Sleep is another overlooked factor. During sleep, your body performs many repair processes. Poor sleep increases inflammation and slows healing. Stress also damages arteries. Chronic stress raises cortisol levels. High cortisol increases inflammation and contributes to artery damage. Managing stress through relaxation, walking, sunlight, and proper rest supports healing. When you combine all of these factors, something incredible happens. Your body begins to reverse damage. Inflammation decreases. The artery lining repairs itself. Blood flow improves, and your cardiovascular system becomes stronger. This doesn't happen overnight, but over the course of months and a year, the improvements can be dramatic. Your body was designed to heal. The problem isn't that healing doesn't work. The problem is that most people never remove the obstacles preventing healing. When you lower sugar, reduce insulin, support your body with proper nutrition, and activate your natural repair systems, your arteries can begin restoring themselves. This is not about a miracle drug. It's about restoring the conditions your body needs to function properly. As Dr. Eric Berg often explains, the body has incredible healing abilities when you remove the interference and provide the right environment. Your arteries are not static pipes that only get worse. They are living tissue. They respond to your lifestyle. They adapt. They repair. And the choices you make every day determine whether your arteries continue to clog or begin to heal. The most powerful realization is this: your body wants to heal. It's always trying to heal. You just have to stop working against it and start working with it. Because when you do, everything begins to change. Most people have been told a very simple story about clogged arteries. The story goes like this: cholesterol builds up in you. Our arteries, it sticks to the walls, it keeps accumulating, and eventually it blocks blood flow. And because cholesterol is blamed as the main villain, the entire focus becomes lowering cholesterol. But this explanation leaves out one of the most important pieces of the puzzle. Cholesterol is not the root cause of artery damage. The real root cause begins with inflammation, and one of the biggest drivers of that inflammation is sugar and insulin resistance. To understand this, you first need to picture what a healthy artery actually looks like. Inside every artery is a very thin, smooth lining called the endothelium. This lining is incredibly important. It allows blood to flow freely without friction. It also controls important functions like relaxing and tightening the blood vessels, regulating blood pressure, and preventing unwanted clotting. When this lining is healthy, your arteries are flexible, smooth, and efficient. It can be easily damaged, and one of the fastest ways to damage it is through repeated spikes in blood sugar. Every time you consume sugar or refined carbohydrates, your blood glucose levels rise. This includes obvious sugars like sweets and soda, but also foods like bread, rice, pasta, cereals, and processed snacks. These foods break down into glucose very quickly. When glucose rises too high, it creates something called oxidative stress. This is a form of internal damage caused by unstable molecules that attack and injure healthy tissue. This oxidative stress directly harms the endothelial lining of your arteries. Imagine taking sandpaper and rubbing it against a smooth surface over and over again. At first, the damage may be small, but over time, the surface becomes rough, uneven, and damaged. This is exactly what happens inside your arteries when blood sugar spikes repeatedly. Once the artery lining becomes damaged, your body immediately tries to repair it. This is where cholesterol enters the picture. Cholesterol is not the attacker. It is part of the repair crew. Your body sends cholesterol to patch up the damaged areas, similar to how a bandage covers a wound. But here's where the real problem begins. If the damage keeps happening over and over again, your body keeps sending more repair material. The repair process never finishes because the injury never stops. This leads to a gradual buildup of plaque. So cholesterol buildup is actually a symptom of damage, not the original cause of damage. Now let's go deeper into the role of insulin, because insulin resistance makes this situation much worse. Insulin is a hormone that helps move sugar from your blood into your cells so it can be used for energy. When you eat sugar or refined carbs frequently, your body releases insulin frequently. Over time, your cells become less sensitive to insulin. This condition is called insulin resistance. When insulin resistance develops, your body has to produce more and more insulin to keep blood sugar under control. This leads to chronically high insulin levels. High insulin creates several dangerous effects inside your arteries. First, it increases inflammation. Inflammation is the foundation of artery damage. It weakens the endothelial lining and makes it easier for plaque to form. Second, high insulin promotes the storage of fat and prevents fat burning. This contributes to metabolic dysfunction and worsens artery health. Third, insulin resistance increases the formation of small, dense LDL particles. These smaller particles are more likely to penetrate damaged artery walls and contribute to plaque formation. Fourth, high insulin reduces your body's ability to repair itself. It interferes with natural cleanup and maintenance systems that keep arteries healthy. This creates a VIC, Ehlers cycle. High sugar leads to high insulin. High insulin leads to inflammation and damage. Damage leads to plaque buildup. Plaque buildup leads to restricted blood flow. Over time, arteries become stiff, narrow, and less flexible. But here's the most important part. This process is not permanent if you remove the cause. Your body has an incredible ability to heal itself when the damage stops, when you reduce sugar and refined carbohydrates. Several powerful changes begin almost immediately. First, blood sugar stabilizes. Instead of rising and crashing constantly, it remains steady. This reduces oxidative stress and prevents further injury to the artery lining nigh. Second, insulin levels begin to fall. Lower insulin reduces inflammation. This creates an environment where healing can begin. Third, your body switches from burning sugar as its primary fuel source to burning fat. This metabolic shift reduces stress on your system and improves overall efficiency. Fourth, your internal repair systems become more active. Your body begins removing damaged components and restoring healthy tissue. As inflammation decreases, the endothelial lining begins repairing itself. This lining can regenerate. It can restore its smooth, flexible surface. Oxygen delivery improves. Circulation improves. This healing process doesn't require drugs or invasive procedures. It requires removing the constant source of damage. One of the biggest hidden sources of sugar is not just sweets, but refined carbohydrates. Foods like white bread, white rice, pasta, breakfast cereals, crackers, and packaged snacks all convert into sugar quickly in your body. Even though they may not taste sweet, they still raise blood sugar significantly. Liquid sugar is especially damaging. Sugary drinks like soda, fruit juice, sweetened tea, and energy drinks cause rapid spikes in blood sugar and insulin. These rapid spikes create repeated injury to your arteries. When you eliminate or greatly reduce these foods, the constant damage stops. This gives your body the opportunity to shift from damage mode into repair mode. Another important factor is frequency of eating. Constant snacking keeps insulin elevated all day long. When insulin stays high, your body cannot fully activate its repair systems. Allowing periods where insulin drops gives your body time to perform maintenance and repair. This is one reason why spacing out meals and avoiding constant snacking can be beneficial, and constant snacking can be beneficial as inflammation decreases. Healing accelerates. Your arteries begin regaining flexibility. Blood vessels begin functioning more efficiently. Your circulation improves. Many people notice improvements in energy levels, mental clarity, and physical endurance as circulation improves. Your heart doesn't have to work as hard to pump blood through stiff, narrow arteries. Your entire cardiovascular system becomes more efficient. Another powerful benefit of lowering sugar and insulin is the reduction of glycation. Glycation occurs when sugar attaches to proteins in your body and damages them. This process accelerates aging and contributes to artery stiffness. This protects your blood vessels from further damage. Over time, the cumulative effect of these improvements becomes significant. Inflammation drops, repair accelerates, circulation improves. Arteries regain function. This is why removing sugar and correcting insulin resistance is one of the most powerful steps you can take for artery health. It addresses the root cause instead of just managing symptoms. It allows your body to do what it was designed to do: heal. Your body is constantly repairing and maintaining itself, but it cannot keep up if damage continues faster than repair. When you remove the cause of damage, the balance shifts. And when repair exceeds damage consistently over time, real healing occurs. This is how arteries begin restoring themselves, not through a single pill, but through removing the constant triggers of inflammation and allowing your body's natural healing mechanisms to function properly. And it all starts with understanding one simple truth: sugar and insulin resistance are among the most powerful drivers of artery damage. And when you remove the obstacle, your body can begin restoring your arteries naturally. One of the most powerful shifts that can happen inside your body begins when insulin levels finally start to come down. This single change triggers a cascade of repair mechanisms that most people never realize exist, because insulin doesn't just control blood sugar. It also controls whether your body is in storage mode or repair mode. And as long as insulin stays high, your body is primarily focused on storing energy, not fixing damage. To understand this, you first need to understand what insulin actually does beyond blood sugar control. Insulin is a signal. It tells your body what to do with nutrients. When insulin is high, your body receives the message that food is abundant. It switches into storage mode. It stores sugar as glycogen. It stores excess energy as fat. It slows fat burning. And most importantly, it slows repair processes. This made sense from a survival perspective. When food is constantly coming in, the body prioritizes storage and growth. But when food is scarce and insulin drops, the body switches priorities. It moves into maintenance, cleanup, and repair mode. The problem today is that most people never allow insulin to drop. They eat frequently. They snack throughout the day. They consume refined carbohydrates and sugar that spike insulin repeatedly. As a result, insulin stays elevated for most of the day, sometimes even all night. Damage accumulates faster than the body can fix it. This includes damage inside your arteries. But when insulin begins to fall, everything changes. One of the most powerful repair mechanisms that activates when insulin drops is something called autophagy. Autophagy is your body's internal cleanup system. The word literally means self-eating, but in a beneficial way. It refers to your body breaking down and removing damaged, dysfunctional components. Inside your arteries, autophagy helps remove damaged cells, oxidized particles, and debris that contribute to plaque formation. It clears out the clutter that interferes with proper function. Think of autophagy like a maintenance crew that cleans and repairs a building. If the crew is never allowed inside, damage accumulates. But when they finally gain access, they begin restoring order. Lower insulin is the signal that allows this cleanup crew to begin working. Another major benefit of lowering insulin is the reduction of inflammation. High insulin promotes inflammation. It stimulates inflammatory pathways throughout your body, including inside artery walls. This inflammation weakens the endothelial lining and makes plaque buildup more likely. When insulin drops, inflammatory signals decrease. This allows the endothelial lining to begin repairing itself. The smooth, protective surface starts restoring its integrity. This is critical because a healthy endothelial lining prevents unwanted particles from embedding into artery walls. It keeps blood flowing smoothly and efficiently. Also improves your body's ability to burn fat. When insulin is high, fat burning is blocked. Your body becomes dependent on sugar for energy. But when insulin falls, your body switches to fat as its primary fuel source. This metabolic shift is extremely beneficial for artery health. Fat burning produces fewer harmful byproducts compared to constant sugar burning. It reduces oxidative stress. It stabilizes energy levels. It reduces the formation of damaging particles that contribute to plaque. This shift also reduces triglycerides, which are fats in your blood associated with cardiovascular risk. Lower triglycerides improve overall blood vessel health. Another powerful effect of lowering insulin is the stabilization of plaque. Not all plaque is equally dangerous. Unstable plaque is more likely to rupture and cause heart attacks or strokes. Stable plaque is less likely to cause sudden problems. Lower insulin and lower inflammation help stabilize plaque. They strengthen the fibrous cap that covers plaque deposits. This reduces the risk of rupture and improves artery safety. One of the most effective ways to lower insulin is by changing what you eat. Reducing sugar and refined carbohydrates prevents large insulin spikes. This alone can significantly lower average insulin levels over time. But another extremely powerful tool is intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting simply means allowing longer periods between meals so insulin can fall. When you stop eating for several hours, insulin gradually decreases. As insulin falls, repair systems activate. During fasting, your body shifts from using incoming food for energy to using stored energy. This includes stored fat. This process improves metabolic efficiency and reduces stress on your system. Fasting also activates autophagy more strongly. Your body begins removing damaged components more aggressively. This process benefits your arteries directly. It helps remove dysfunctional cells and improves overall function. Fasting also improves insulin sensitivity. This means your body requires less insulin to manage blood sugar. Lower insulin sensitivity is a major factor in artery damage. So improving sensitivity is extremely beneficial. A lowering insulin is improved nitric oxide production. Another major benefit of lowering insulin is improved nitric oxide production. Nitric oxide is a molecule that relaxes and expands your blood vessels. It improves circulation and reduces blood pressure. High insulin interferes with nitric oxide production. This contributes to stiff, narrow arteries. But when insulin drops, nitric oxide function improves. Blood vessels relax and become more flexible. This improves blood flow and reduces stress on your cardiovascular system. Lower insulin also reduces fluid retention. High insulin causes your kidneys to retain sodium and water. This increases blood pressure and places additional strain on your arteries. When insulin falls, excess fluid is released. Blood pressure improves. Stress on artery walls decreases. Another important benefit is improved mitochondrial function. Mitochondria are the energy producers inside your cells. When insulin is constantly high, mitochondrial efficiency declines. This contributes to fatigue and poor cellular repair. Lower insulin improves mitochondrial performance. Cells produce energy more efficiently. Repair processes function better. This improved cellular energy supports the healing of artery tissue. Lower insulin also reduces the formation of advanced glycation end products, or AGs. These are harmful compounds formed when sugar binds to proteins. AGs contribute to artery stiffness and aging. Reducing insulin and blood sugar lowers AG formation. This protects artery flexibility and function. Over time, these improvements create measurable changes. Inflammation decreases, damage slows. Repair accelerates. Blood vessels become more flexible. Circulation improves. One of the most remarkable aspects of this process is that your body already knows how to do it. These repair systems are built into your biology. They don't require anything artificial. They simply require the right conditions. Lower insulin provides those conditions. Your body shifts from constant storage mode into repair mode. Cleanup begins. Damage is reduced. Function improves. This is why lowering insulin is one of the most powerful strategies for improving artery health. It addresses the root cause of the problem instead of just managing symptoms. It allows your natural repair systems to operate as they were designed. Many people believe artery damage is permanent, but arteries are living tissue. They respond to your metabolic environment. When insulin is high, damage accelerates. When insulin is low, healing accelerates. The key is creating consistent periods where insulin remains low enough for repair to occur. This doesn't happen instantly. It happens gradually over weeks and months. But the cumulative effect is powerful. Your body becomes more efficient. Inflammation drops. Circulation improves. Arteries regain function. This is the power of lowering insulin. It unlocks your body's built-in repair systems. It activates cleanup, and it allows your arteries to begin restoring themselves naturally. Once you remove the primary triggers of artery damage and begin lowering insulin, you've created the foundation for healing. But foundation alone is not enough. Your body also needs the right raw materials and the right environment to fully repair and strengthen your arteries. This is where specific nutrients and lifestyle factors become incredibly important, because arteries are living tissue. They are constantly rebuilding themselves, and rebuilding requires the correct building blocks. Let's start with something that almost no one talks about when it comes to artery health. Vitamin K2. Most people are familiar with vitamin K1, which is involved in blood clotting, but vitamin K2 plays a completely different and critical role. Vitamin K2 helps direct calcium to where it belongs, into your bones and teeth, and away from where it does not belong, like your arteries. Calcium in your arteries contributes to stiffness and hardening. When arteries become stiff, they lose flexibility. This increases blood pressure and puts extra strain on your heart. Over time, this stiffening contributes to plaque progression. Vitamin K2 activates specific proteins that escort calcium out of soft tissues and into bone tissue. Without enough K2, calcium can accumulate in artery walls. So even if someone is consuming calcium supplements for bone health, without adequate K2, that calcium may not go to the right place. Supporting proper calcium balance is a major part of restoring artery flexibility. Now let's talk about magnesium, another nutrient that plays a powerful role in cardiovascular health. Magnesium helps relax smooth muscle tissue, and your arteries are lined with smooth muscle. When magnesium levels are low, arteries tend to constrict more easily. This increases blood pressure and reduces circulation. Magnesium also supports hundreds of enzymatic reactions in your body, including those involved in energy production and inflammation control. Low magnesium levels are associated with higher inflammation, poor insulin sensitivity, and increased cardiovascular risk. By ensuring adequate magnesium intake, you support proper artery relaxation, improved circulation, and reduced inflammatory stress. There's vitamin D. A vitamin D is not just a vitamin. It acts more like a hormone. It plays a major role in immune regulation and inflammation control. Low vitamin D levels are strongly associated with cardiovascular disease. When vitamin D is sufficient, it helps modulate immune responses and reduce chronic inflammation. Since inflammation is a root driver of artery damage, maintaining adequate vitamin D levels is critical for long-term artery repair. Vitamin D also works closely with vitamin K2. These two nutrients form a powerful partnership in managing calcium balance and maintaining vascular health. Now let's shift to healthy fats, which are often misunderstood. For decades, people were told to avoid fat to protect their heart. But the type of fat matters far more than the amount. But the type of fat matters far more than the amount. Natural, unprocessed fats provide essential fatty acids that are critical for cell membrane integrity, including the cells lining your arteries. Omega-3 fatty acids found in fatty fish and certain other foods are especially important. Omega-3 and certain other foods are cellular level. They improve blood vessel flexibility and reduce triglycerides. They also support healthy blood flow by reducing clotting tendency. Omega-3s help stabilize plaque, making it less likely to rupture. Stabilizing plaque is crucial because unstable plaque is what often leads to heart attacks and strokes. Healthy saturated fats from natural sources also play a role in hormone production and cell structure. When consumed as part of a balanced whole food diet, these fats can support metabolic health rather than harm it. What truly damages? Arteries are processed seed oils that are high in omega-6 fatty acids and prone to oxidation. These oxidized oils contribute to inflammation and oxidative stress. Reducing processed oils while increasing natural stable fats can significantly improve artery health over time. Now, let's talk about exercise. Exercise is one of the most powerful natural tools for artery repair. When you move your body, you increase blood flow. Increased blood flow creates shear stress along artery walls, which stimulates the production of nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a molecule that relaxes and widens blood vessels. It improves circulation and reduces blood pressure. It also protects the endothelial lining from damage. Regular movement strengthens the cardiovascular system. It improves insulin sensitivity. It reduces inflammation. It enhances mitochondrial function. And here's the important part. Exercise does not need to be extreme to be effective. Walking daily can significantly improve endothelial function. Resistance training can improve insulin sensitivity. Moderate, consistent activity is far more beneficial than occasional intense workouts followed by long periods of inactivity. Consistency is what drives long-term change. Now, let's address stress. Chronic stress has a direct impact on artery health. When you are under constant stress, your body produces elevated levels of cortisol and adrenaline. These stress hormones increase blood pressure and promote inflammation. Chronic stress also disrupts sleep, impairs insulin sensitivity, and contributes to poor dietary choices. Over time, these effects compound and accelerate artery damage. Managing stress is not optional if you want to restore artery health. Simple practices like walking outdoors, breathing exercises, prayer, reflection, and disconnecting from constant stimulation can significantly reduce stress hormone levels. Sunlight exposure also plays a role. Sunlight supports vitamin D production and helps regulate circadian rhythms, which improves sleep quality. Now, let's talk about sleep. Sleep is when your body performs deep repair work. During sleep, inflammatory marker S decrease. Growth hormone is released. Cellular repair accelerates. Poor sleep increases inflammation and raises cortisol levels. It also worsens insulin resistance. All of these factors directly impact artery health. Prioritizing consistent, high-quality sleep allows your body to fully activate its repair systems. Hydration is another overlooked factor. Proper hydration supports blood volume and circulation. Dehydration thickens the blood slightly, making the heart work harder. Adequate water intake supports efficient nutrient delivery and waste removal. Another key factor is maintaining a healthy weight, especially reducing excess visceral fat. Visceral fat, the fat stored around your organs, produces inflammatory chemicals that directly contribute to artery damage. As insulin levels improve and inflammation decreases, visceral fat often reduces naturally. This further decreases inflammatory burden on your arteries. Over time, all of these factors work together. Vitamin K2 helps redirect calcium. Magnesium relaxes arteries. Vitamin D reduces inflammation. Omega-3 stabilize plaque. Healthy fats support cell structure. Exercise improves circulation. Stress reduction lowers cortisol. Sleep enhances repair. Weight management reduces inflammatory signals. When combined with lower insulin and reduced sugar intake, these elements create a powerful healing environment. Arteries regain flexibility. Endothelial function improves. Inflammation drops. Blood pressure stabilizes. Circulation becomes more efficient. This is not a quick fix. It's a gradual restoration process. But over months and a year, the cumulative effect can be dramatic. Your arteries are dynamic. They respond to your environment. They strengthen when supported and weaken when neglected. By providing the right nutrients and lifestyle conditions, you shift the balance toward repair. Your body, not passive. It is constantly adapting. If you create an inflammatory environment, arteries deteriorate. If you create a healing environment, arteries improve. The remarkable truth is that much of artery damage is driven by daily habits, and daily habits can be changed. When you consistently supply the nutrients your arteries require and remove the stressors that damage them, your cardiovascular system begins functioning the way it was designed to function: strong, flexible, efficient. That is the power of addressing Keynote 3. Not just removing damage, but actively supporting restoration. And when all of these pieces come together, you create the conditions necessary for your arteries to clean, repair, and strengthen themselves over time.